Welcome everybody from Amsterdam Drone Week 2022. I am here with Miriam McNabb from Drone Life to do a small recap of the events from yesterday and a bit of anticipation what's going to happen today. So the first question I have to you, Miriam, first of all, welcome on DroneTalks. And I want to talk about, passenger eVTOLs and what do you think about that? We have seen a lot of action around here with Volocopter, the Liliums of the world. What are your impressions?
So the big question that I found everybody was asking is, when are we actually going to see passenger eVTOLs in our area? And this is something I've written about a lot. Yesterday I had the opportunity to hear Volocopter's CEO address that, and the answer really is pretty soon. So Volocopter is aiming for the Paris Olympics. They have that planned out. They have over 1,000 demonstrations with full compliance of local regulatory authorities worked out, and more than 40 cities lined up for commercial operations. So we're really looking forward to seeing passenger eVTOLs. Of course, with Volocopter, at first those eVTOLs will be crewed. Eventually, as regulations allow, they will be passenger drones. So can't wait for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can confirm, actually, I was moderating the panel about the Paris Regional Olympic 2024, and it was very exciting. They told me that I asked too tough of a questions, but they answered very well. So I think It's real. I think it's going to see it.
It's absolutely real. He commented that, the limitations of eVTOL, they're limited to about 35 kilometers. But that is more than enough to cover a mega city like Paris from end to end.
Absolutely. And let's talk about U-Space now. We have seen, with some consternations of few that we had a delay on the remote ID implementation here in Europe to 1st of January 2024, and so there is some rumors about delays on the U-Space regulation. Are we going to have it or not? What is the corridor talks on this?
Yes, and so this is more your area of expertise than mine, but I am hearing a lot of consternation, people are wondering when that's actually going to come out. What are you hearing from the floor?
Yeah, I have kind of a similar feeling, and the shift on the remote ID was somehow a blow to few, because of course we were ready. Some were ready with their remote ID devices and solutions, but there is no sign at the moment of an actual delay of the entry into force of the U-Space regulation. So we hope it's going to enter into force. We need U-Space in Europe. We need U-Space to scale operations. So I'm really looking forward for the conversation today around this topic.
Yeah, I think that the conversation is shifting a little bit too, from kind of what does it cost us to do this to kind of now, as the drone industry ramps up in Europe and elsewhere, it's kind of what does it cost us not to do this?
Absolutely.
So I think that question is really coming into
play. That's a very, very, very good point that you're making. Yes. The last one I'm curious about is I heard a lot about social acceptance around the different panels, both for the the big guys like the Volocopters that with their vertiports, but also for the drone delivery people. Bobby Healy from Manna was also star of the show here, talking about that. What are your impressions about this? Where are we with social acceptance?
Well, I was fortunate enough to hear Bobby Healy from Manna talk about this yesterday. Tough panel, actually. They had a woman asking really tough questions about citizenship and acceptance of drone delivery. She commented that she thought sometimes drone delivery was medical washed, that we were all harping on the kind of, drones for good part and not so much about delivering coffee. But I really think Bobby answered it beautifully. He said, listen, 40,000 deliveries, I can count on two hands the number of times people have actually complained. And research really backs this up. We've seen the same in the US. Researchers from Virginia Tech came out with a study that showed in the Christiansburg, Virginia trial of wing drone delivery that when people were actually exposed to drone delivery, their biggest question was, when will it come to my neighborhood? When can I get it? So people tend to worry a lot about the effects of drones, but they don't actually complain about it when it does come to their community. So while we recognize there are some sacrifices, I think the good will outweigh the bad.
That's fantastic. And I think this is a nice little recap of what I always say, the highlights of day one. I think they do here. It's about to start. I see here on the background, speakers on the main stage. So let's go and check it out.
Excellent. See you then.
Thank you. Thank you, Miriam.